LFC Daytrippers, brought to you by bookmakers.com.
Hello, good evening, and welcome to the LFC Daytrippers. I am Gav, that's Seany, that's Keith. It's the midweek fixed call in. You know how it works. Well, you probably don't, because last week a lot of people didn't. But we are going to have a chat for an hour. There's an hour on the clock from now. At 11:03 p.m, we are out of here. But there's an hour on the clock. If you want to speak to us, you don't have to turn on your camera. Just to let you know that. But if you go into our community tab on YouTube, you will find the link to ring in here, call in here. We get as many in as we can. Okay. If you're trying to connect and it's not doing it for you, don't worry about it. It's we're just trying to. You're in the green room. Anyway, a lot of people, Seany, are impressed with our artwork for this show. What do you think? Should we do a different one every week, or should we just keep this?
Yeah, use one more like now, Redmen's. I looked like I was on the phone to the banker. I was like playing like BJ's and now Redmen's. I wasn't sure.
Honestly, right. Honestly, I sent that picture to Ray Brady, who's the master of putting faces onto different things, and it was the Bee Gees, right? But I literally said to him, I'm not too sure if you have to change the fella on the right, because he's the fucking image of Keith anyway. But he did change.
You know, I was only thinking that I was like, I don't think there was much editing done on that, because I did have a bit of a Morris Gibb vibe about me, without the hair, obviously. But, you know, yeah, happy days. We'll change it up, but I think, you know, spice it up every week.
Justin Collins says, you're a slacker, Gav. Kev and Matt done an hour and a half of quality last night. I've already done an hour's long interview before we come on here, so that puts me at 2 hours. So who's the slacker now? Lads, before anyone rings in, or if anyone does want to ring in, and as I said, you call in, you'll be in a waiting room, we'll click you on. You don't have to put on a camera. What we will say, though, is if you're going to come on, ask a question, we'll answer it. Be respectful. You know, if you're not, we'll just knock you off. It's that simple. But what was I going to start with? Oh, the Jude Bellingham stuff is back, lads. Keith, Jude Bellingham stuff is back. What do you think?
What's happening?
Nothing really, I don't think.
He's not in the team tonight, is it? And there's a lot of talk that he's coming to Liverpool.
Yeah, so in the last 24 hours, a lot of people have reported that Liverpool is Jude Bellingham's most likely destination.
Yeah,
that has come out again.
I think we've said it all along, really, haven't we? That I think Liverpool's his most likely destination. I think if you take the club, not that they've said anything, but if you take the reports coming out of the club for what they're worth, you know, they've been building up for this big transfer for about 8 years now, so it's only right that it happens in the summer. But everything else, you know, when Madrid come in, it seems more like a propaganda thing on their media that sort of spouts a load of stuff, and the solid links always seem to be with Liverpool. And you say it all the time, Gav. You think whatever's done is done. There's not going to be an impact now. Do you know what I mean? So maybe it is a done deal, and it's just all about time until it gets announced. I wouldn't be surprised again. I'm not saying this, we're not in the know by any stretch of the imagination, but I wouldn't be surprised if it does come to Liverpool and it was announced if Dortmund go out of Europe. As soon as they're out of Europe, I think there could be an announcement for a summer transfer. But, you know, we'll wait and see. That's just pure speculation.
Seany, are we just in the end of the transfer window mode where you're just going to have names thrown around everywhere? You know, Chelsea being linked with 4 or 5 names, Arsenal being linked with Onana off Arsenal, and Declan Rice, Anthony Gordon linked with Newcastle because Conor Cody gave him a dig in the Everton dressing room. Is it just end of the window stuff that we're at this stage, and very little will happen?
No, I think a lot will happen in the next week. For other clubs especially, there's going to be a lot of movement by the looks of it. Arsenal are looking to recruit. Chelsea are being Chelsea,
and Arsenal have done too in Trossard
and everything as well. Look like they're going to do some business. It's the same as every final week in the window. It gets a bit frantic. The Bellingham stuff's not going away. All I'll say is if we don't get him now, we're gonna look like a gang of fucking idiots.
Jono says if we don't get Bellingham, the club should shut down.
Yeah,
Jack her in.
probably,
Jack her in.
it's probably like I watched them again the other night, and he's probably the best midfielder in the world at the moment.
Yeah, I seen a few highlights of it. I don't.
I mean
don't.
that, and I'm not like people caveat all the time by saying best young midfielder now. I think he's the best all-round midfielder in the world, and I'd actually think Martin Odegaard is not too far behind him.
Yeah, it's not an outrageous shout. In fairness, when you think about it,
I think that it would be the Van Dijk, it will be the Alisson of the midfield, and if I'm gonna put like a positive spin on it, I don't really care who it rattles, but it's the only logical. Like, it's the only way I can make any logical sense of us not spending more money in this window.
Yeah, we said it on Sunday, 100%.
On a midfielder. So,
Arsenal.
look,
Arsenal.
I don't know. It seems to be dying down. Madrid were doing the charm offensive that they always do, with their targets. Sure, they would have had everyone led to believe that Mbappe was done. The socios in Madrid were demanding like apologies from Mbappe, and Mbappe came out and basically said, like, I spoke to Florentino Perez once, and it was at the Ballon d'Or Awards, and it was got absolutely nothing got to do with joining Real Madrid. So I don't know where people are getting this idea from that it was ever something that was close, because it wasn't. I'd always been in dialogue with PSG. So it looks like Madrid were on the charm offensive. You're parroting something, Gav, a lot lately the last few weeks, and I'm actually with you. I think wherever he is going is done. I think it's just a timing issue now.
It's just the way he's advised by his family and stuff like that.
It's not that,
I just can't see them. I can't see them leaving until June or July to decide where he's going.
Dortmund don't tend to do that either. Look, there's been so many little carrots regarding Bellingham, and look, a lot of it's from the source sort of stuff. Even the Dortmund sporting director came out saying that he thought Liverpool would be the best place for him, and obviously that there's a relationship there with Liverpool, and that it wasn't going to be like a sale to Liverpool, like, or there weren't going to be like brownie points applied to Liverpool because Jurgen Klopp was there. Look, I've been told by someone who, not that they're in the know, but they're heavily involved in football in the UK, and I told you this last night, Gav, that Jurgen Klopp was instrumental in Jude Bellingham's initial move to Dortmund. He was kind of confronted on that and asked what he thought would be better, because Bellingham was shopped around all the top clubs in England. He was at City, he was at United, he was down with Arsenal, down with Chelsea, and he was in Liverpool's training ground. The story going around about him being at Manchester United is no secret. So apparently Klopp was one who pointed him towards Germany when there was massive interest from Leipzig and Dortmund. So look, you'd have to believe that there was dialogue there somewhere between Klopp and Bellingham, or not Bellingham as far that people saying it's tapping up. It's not really. It goes on a lot now. I'm sure Dortmund now. And I'm sure he's spoken to people from Madrid as well. And I'm sure he's probably even spoken to people who work at City. But it does seem to be a lot of movement in terms of, and Plettigol, who is a big source, a very reputable source in Germany, seems to have his mind made up. And then you can go even further back, Gavin. I'm not making this up. Henry Winter looked like he had a bit of a...
he made a comment, didn't he?
Yeah, so...
around an England camp, wasn't it?
It was around last summer, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. And I think, like, for me, when you kind of, like... You play a bit of Cluedo in your lifetime, you think about circumstances and why things happen. Like, it's not that I'm making any excuses, right? But we should have signed one after we missed out on too many. But let's be honest, it's highly likely that he just said, right, we'll get Bellingham now and we'll wait. And something's being done, because I don't think it's going to be a case of Bellingham where there's some sort of fucking Mexican standoff and it's a big bidding war. I reckon it's going to be whoever put in the most time to showing him where he can be. Let's be honest. The kid is 19 going on 20. He could do 5 or 6
And
years.
Gerrard comes out and comments on him as well. And you know, it was all a bit tongue in cheek from Gerrard, but I was kind of going, yeah, but you've massive ties to Liverpool, and you not that he knows what's going on and he's sent out there to peddle the line, but you know, the Gerrard stuff kind of come off to me as like, you know, he's kind of saying something here, and I don't know. It was a bit strange for me. It was a bit. If he was saying that and Liverpool weren't in any way interested in Bellingham, would someone have went to him and went, "What are you fucking saying that for?" Do you know? Well, look, it was a bit. Not that he got a nod, but he kind of has it. You know, that feeling that something's happening, and he's okay to say that.
You hear even the way Neville even talks about and Carragher, like, I may be naive to think it could be like football's worst kept secret at the moment. You know what I mean?
That's how it looks.
You can only go off what's there, and I see a lot of people going, "Oh, we saw this shite with Mbappe." No, we didn't. The story going around with Mbappe literally was he met John Henry when he was playing for Monaco. They flew his family around when he was playing for Monaco. Liverpool tried to get him when he was playing for Monaco. That's the stage Liverpool were trying to get Mbappe at. I'm sure we probably talked to him. All this shit about Nike paying for this and Nike paying for that. That's complete fantasy shit. But
well, Jake says, I still don't know how we can do all this talk for you without the reassurances we will get the money to buy him. We don't even know who the owners will be.
Jake,
just on the owners of
Jake, the owners have spent 120 million in the last 6 months.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just going to say on that, I've done an interview with somebody in the last hour, which will be released tomorrow, and it was really, really good about where FSG are, where Liverpool are, where possible buyers or investors are, and where the process is in his opinion. And it was really, really good. And he has no skin in the game. No skin in the game. Not a Liverpool fan. He writes, he covers Liverpool and everything, and he's more to do with the finances in football than, you know, a guy just reporting transfers and stuff like that. So it was really really interesting. So that'll be out tomorrow. Nobody's rang in yet. They must be waiting. They can't follow Bruno from last week, basically. Couple of things as well. Oxlade-Chamberlain link with Brighton, but the talk is Brighton want him on a free. They want Liverpool to release him on a free, and of course that leads on to Moses Caicedo. And I was only looking the other day. Do you remember when we were talking about Caicedo 6 weeks ago? And it was like 50 million. Just spend the 50 million on him. And now all of a sudden people are saying they've slapped 100 million on him. Arsenal are in for him. But this is why I'm asking, Keith, is it just a bit of a mad one for the last week? Because if you believe things now, Arsenal are in for Onana, Rice and Caicedo, and are willing to do it.
Yeah, I think Arsenal are just looking to pounce while they're in a position of strength, something which Liverpool maybe haven't done over the years. But the Caicedo will go for a hefty fee. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's not Brighton aren't going to give him away. So if Arsenal offer more than Chelsea offer for him, they'll get him. Liverpool won't get him if they don't offer the money, because the more teams who are in are going to do it. But the interesting thing, the Oxlade-Chamberlain, we've said before, we'd cancel his contract, fucking tear up the contract just to get him off the books. If it meant getting another player in, I would do it. Not tear up his contract, not in a sort of a ruthless way, but just in a, listen, you're not going to play. You've done well. Circumstances prevented you doing anything too major, but you know what I mean? We're going to release you. You go there, find the club, 6 months to settle in and see what you can do, blah, blah. Only if we're going to replace him. Do you know what I mean? Not if we're not going to replace him. And it's interesting as well, the Nat Phillips rumours as well, that, you know, they recall Reece Williams from loan at Blackpool with the eye on selling Nat Phillips. So I don't know. It's all guesswork. But I don't know if there is things happening in the background to free up spaces in the squad, because that's the bit. We always say it on this channel. You know what I mean? Like, there's no space, and people
taking players back off loan doesn't free up spaces in the squad.
Would Phillips make a difference if he left?
Phillips is 24 or something. He's not young, so he's not.
But he's at the club a long time.
Yeah, but Phillips would be down as a homegrown.
He's a homegrown player.
But
He'd be a
that's the
homegrown
thing.
player.
It's not that
Yeah,
you
so
have to
it
clear
wouldn't
out.
make a difference then, would it?
No,
Well,
because
it
you
depends
have
on
to clear
who-
out homegrown players. It's not you have to clear out homegrown players. If you want a player in this squad right now, you have to get rid of a non-homegrown player.
Unless you're bringing in a homegrown player. But you know what I mean? And what I'm saying is if they're freeing up space, let's say Ox goes and let's say Phillips, all the players that have been linked to go are fucking homegrown except for Keita. Do you know what I mean? You're looking at players like Keller. Well, Kelleher's not homegrown, actually. He's non-homegrown. But you're looking at Joe Gomez gets mentioned, Curtis Jones gets mentioned. They're all homegrown players. Do you know what I mean? So if you're going to have to free up space in the squad, whether it's homegrown or not, because there's just too many players there. In the midfield, especially, like there's a logjam. So the Oxlade-Chamberlain thing, it makes sense if they're going to bring one in there.
Yeah, but that's what you said.
I'd be
But
surprised
what you're saying is that, yeah, freeing up space in the squad to bring in a player, but at the moment that player will be a homegrown player.
Yeah, but that
Ella
quite
won't
possibly.
leave in this window.
No,
Who?
I'm not for a minute
Ella
suggesting
won't leave this window, I
they're
don't
clearing names out to bring in Bellingham. Bellingham doesn't qualify as a homegrown player anyway.
No.
He doesn't qualify till next year.
Yeah, but he doesn't count against your quota either. He doesn't, because he's underage, isn't it?
Yeah, but he doesn't count towards the quota either. Do you get me?
Yeah. No, I don't know. Kevin Ball saying Kelleher is homegrown. I don't think he is, but
He's
could
not.
be wrong.
I don't think he is either, to be honest.
I know Curtis Jones next month becomes homegrown, and I know that Bellingham wouldn't be one of your homegrown players. So taking out a homegrown player to bring in Bellingham, although I'm more than willing to swap Nat Phillips for Jude Bellingham. But what I'm saying is, numbers wise, it's not like he can remove him and bring him in. He doesn't bring up your homegrown quota at all.
Yeah, but it'd be interesting to see what they're going to do like.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if Nat Phillips played has been leaving the club for the last 3 years and just never seems to materialise.
Signed a big deal 18 months ago, though.
Yeah.
I don't know. Look, they need to bomb someone out. They're going to bring someone in, and although Klopp made a sort of sideways remark that it's no more prisoners, I don't think he's that snide to build someone out the week to go. Yeah. I don't know who leaves. I can't see who leaves.
Unless they want to go, unless they say, look, obviously Kelleher is one that could go, but it's not going to happen now.
I think Kelleher will definitely go in the summer.
Yeah, he go in the summer because he's going to want to play, and they'll just bring in another keeper. Adrian will go. They'll bring in a homegrown keeper as well, I'd say. But, maybe if they say to Oxlade-Chamberlain, Brighton want Jardine, his agent's going to know. And anyway, and he might say, look, am I in the plans? No. Well, then let me go now. And unless a player wants to do that, or Nat Phillips says, look, I do have an option to go here, I'd like to go. Klopp isn't going to bomb them out. You're right, Sean. Even though he said that thing, I think that would be more of a summer rebuild. I think he spoke. So I was reading something today that he spoke on, I think it was Michael Calvin's podcast, about signing the contract extension so he can oversee a rebuild of Liverpool. So I wouldn't be surprised if there is a lot of movement in the summer, and I wouldn't be surprised if one or two big names maybe find themselves foul of it, as in, I'll just throw out like a Jordan Henderson, for example.
Fabinho could be in
there, yeah, 100%. Gomez
What's the crack on Arthur Melo? Is he banned now? Is he not allowed to play football, or what's going on with him?
What?
Because of the Juventus stuff.
Oh, is he? Yeah, he's patient. He's patient fucking zero, isn't he, on that? The financial irregularities. I don't think it was. Yeah. He didn't.
Talk
he didn't
of some irregularities over Juventus reducing his wages drastically in order because obviously they got done for financial irregularities, didn't they?
That deal stunk to high heaven when it happened.
Yeah, everyone knew it at the time, didn't they? Like it was absolutely.
That's when all the boys resigned on the same day, wasn't it? The whole board, they were gone like a light.
Yeah, man's had to get him whacked, isn't he? Paratici as well.
He's at Spurs.
Yeah.
He's banned now for 2 years, isn't he?
Yeah, and it's going to go into the UK as well because he overinflated, didn't he, the Romero deal to Spurs to benefit Juventus as well.
Yeah, really. It's in a bad spot at the moment when, like Juve, what they went through in the 90s to kind of to go down that road again. You consider that the state of Barcelona like the state. Barcelona can't play Gavi because they can't register them now. They have to submit their registered squad for the second. So they're going to have to do something before they can register. They tried to register Gavi and they couldn't. Like, it's a joke. Like, these are still considered some of the biggest clubs in the world. Like, these are the lads who are heading the Super League, and you wonder why. So I think football is in the shitter at the moment. I think there's too much money in the Premier League and not enough money elsewhere. I think it's a big problem. The disparity between the leagues is crazy. The money Chelsea are spending, people turning around and saying, "Look what Chelsea are doing. They're going to spend their way out of trouble." Like, there's a very, very thin line between spending your way out of trouble and into trouble.
Spending your way into it, 100%.
Where it's like spending your way out of trouble is okay, but spending your way into trouble is a fucking shitstorm.
But it make you think, Seany, that they found some sort of loophole, because for UEFA to come out
I don't know, because I
react in that way by going, listen, if you spend 100 and you want to do it over 8 years and claim it's 12 million a year or 12.5 million a year, right?
They only gave out 1 8-year deal.
Yeah, I know, but they've given out, but they've given you that fella
given out 7s and 6s and all.
Yeah, there's a few 7s in there, but 6 is not unheard of.
But the thing,
it's an eyebrow raiser. You know what I mean?
It's always 5 with an option to extend. But honestly, when you look at like what's going on there in Chelsea, and kind of you can only apply the logic that they use in American sports, that a lot of it is guaranteed money. I'd imagine Modric is at the being guaranteed a lot of money, like guaranteed contract. Like, but they don't really do that in football.
Yeah,
I reckon he probably thought he can get away with it. Like, yeah, man, Bowley sacked everyone in operations at Chelsea, and he's running the football club pretty much with some bank in America's money. Like, you can't tell me that
Clearwater Investments, I think, is...
It's not sensible, because he doesn't understand the game. He doesn't understand football. The fella was...
He stepped back, didn't he? He stepped there. He stepped back.
7.5-year deal for Badishiel. And I think... And he's signing someone from PSV. I think there was talk of the 7 year.
Young Fled,
If anyone wants to call in and you're watching us on YouTube, on our page, you just click the community tab. You'll see the link. Click on it and you can come in. You can ask a question about Liverpool football in general. I don't know, the big shop, what you get in your big shop, whatever you want, you can ask away. But nobody's had the nerve to call in, and they all talk away in that chat all the time. And then just come on, we only have to hear your voice. You don't have to put your camera on. Mick says, is it Maduke? Is that your man? Is that how you say
Nordy Maduke.
Is that his name?
Yeah.
So Laszlo says Bowley has stepped down from the transfer role.
But he's already bleeding done enough, hasn't he? You know, up till now, it's all well and good stepping away. The amount of players they bought, and there's an issue as well. Before the caller comes in, there's an issue with registering players and things like that. They're going to have to get rid of a lot. They're going to have to trim that squad down so bleeding terrible.
Yeah, well, it's down to the amount you can register then, and you'd have to think. Yeah. Although it doesn't feel like the best strategy, but you'd have to feel like they're just going to have a bit of a sale in the summer to get rid of someone. Yeah. Anyway, we let this caller in. Let me see. Carlino, how are you? Can't hear him. Hold on. Let me see now. There we go. How are you, mate?
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, nice. Yeah, I was in the waiting room for like 10 minutes, but I think it doesn't work when I'm muted. But yeah, good evening, guys. Shout out, first of all, I got shout out to Keith for following me back on Twitter.
Man of the people, what can I say?
Man of the people.
That's what I do.
Go on,
yeah, but I just want to give you guys like a list of 8 players, and let's say we can only get 3 of them. And let's just say obviously Bellingham is, locked in, confirmed, hopefully. But yeah, so in between Nunez, Kefren Turam,
I'm gonna write these down if that's okay.
Oh yeah, yeah. Fine,
Nunez,
yeah. Kefren Turam, of course.
Yeah.
Kone. Mm-hmm. Mount.
Yeah.
Gravenberch.
Yep.
Musa, I know Seany likes Musa. He does Musa.
Yeah, I like him. Big fan.
Yeah.
Big fan.
Tyler Adams.
Okay.
I like him as well.
And Manuel Ugarte. I don't know if you guys know him from Sporting, but him as well.
Yeah, he's brilliant.
So
love him.
So if you
love him.
So if we can get let's say I'll do 3. If we get three of those, which one would you guys prefer?
Okay,
I know my
don't,
three. I
don't,
want
yeah,
to
don't
hear
give
three.
your 3 yet. So, first thing is Mason Mount is definitely one of them because the reason being the homegrown thing. We've only spoken
I
about,
Oh
agree.
yeah, true.
and you're gonna have Oxlade-Chamberlain, you're gonna have Milner leave, right? Possibly. Keith is coming, so you have to get somebody in there. So I think Mason Mount is probably one. If you're, we're saying Bellingham is done, right? So you're looking at 3 more
Yeah,
on
yeah,
top of that. I would go with. I'm gonna go with your first 2, Nunez and Thuram.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I don't.
I didn't
Musa. I'm a bit all over the place on Musa because Kev O'Sullivan keeps telling me he's wrecked after 60 minutes. Tyler Adams, yeah, good player. Gravenbach won't leave Bayern. I think that they have him for the future. And Thuram just in ahead of Kone for me, but they'd be my 2. Nunez, Thuram, Mount, and of course Bellingham. But Carlinho, I'm not doing any deal unless it's Bellingham involved. Keith, go on, give us 3 out of that 8.
Yeah, look, you rebuild your midfield, so we'd be looking at, obviously Bellingham is in there. I think Ugarte is a great player. I think he's brilliant. He's one you'd be all over, but you won't get him cheap. In a holding role, like if we're talking fantasy stuff, are they talking a semblance of reality? Because yeah, Musa and Thuram and Kone would be cheaper. Do you know what I mean? So where'd you build your team?
I'm
So
going around that they're all around like 40 million, 50 million, 60 million, around that range.
Yeah,
Less than Caicedo. Less than Caicedo.
Well, see, Caicedo be the one I'd buy, to be honest. Caicedo's the perfect
that's
one
too
for
easy.
me.
That's too easy. Yeah.
But
If you'd have put
one thing I have
Caicedo
to
in there,
say-
I would have taken Nunez out and put Caicedo in.
Yeah. The thing about it is like that Musa is, while he might struggle, he might be gassed after 60 minutes. He's still only young and he's still
better.
got a lot of development to go. Yeah, and he's a homegrown player, is he? Am I right in saying that?
Yeah, he would
He
be.
came up.
Yes, I think he could be, yeah.
Did he come up at Arsenal or something? So
Yeah,
maybe he doesn't qualify. I don't know, but you know, it's an interesting one. I'd go with Bellingham. I'd go with. Oh, would I go? No, do you know what? I'm switching. I'm going with Bellingham. I'd go with Mount, and I'd go with Thuram. Yeah, I'd go with the energy and the physicality of Thuram.
Okay. Shawnee, what's your 3 before we get the next caller in?
I'd have Bellingham. Bellingham, obviously.
So you have 3, you have to pick 3 after Bellingham.
Oh, 3 after Bellingham.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have to about him.
Carlinho's not fucking about
we
here.
need,
He's signing for.
yeah,
Yeah.
we need all the legs we can. All the legs we can. Yeah.
I take Mount. I think Mount needs a move away from Chelsea. I think he was Chelsea's best player for the last 2 years. I think people are kind of afraid of. Mount would be like a more enhanced version of Ox that we bought from Arsenal. I think he'd be that type of player. I think he'd be brilliant.
Lallana vibes about him.
I'm big on Musa. He's athletic, like he said. I think he's young. I don't know about him gassing at 60, 70 minutes. It's not something that I've ever noticed in his
Kev
game.
says he does. Kev doesn't
He's
lie.
full-blooded. I take Kev's word for it. Kev is knowledgeable. Kev knows ball, as the kids would say. I think he can develop. I think Musa on that club could be an animal. And one that he didn't notice, I'm going to be a little bit of a wild card. Jacob Ramsey is another one I'm big on from Aston Villa.
Mega money, though, I'd say.
I don't know. I don't know what his contract's.
19 years of age, 1.5 seasons in the Premier League. One of Villa's best players.
Really like the look from that.
He's the sort of player that'd have to push through a move because I don't think Villa need to sell very often. Right, Carlino?
Yeah, but with Unai Emery, is he an Unai Emery player?
Yeah,
Do you know,
that's
Emery
true as
might
well.
have other ideas on what he wants.
That's true as well. Right, Carlino, you have Bellingham. Give us your 3.
Oh yeah, my 3 are Thuram, Mount, and Ugarte. Those are my 3.
Oh,
because Thuram, I mean, guy's like what 6'4". I just think we need that physicality back in our midfield. I think he will help bring some more pace and power. Mount, obvious reasons, Premier League proven. I mean, that year that they went to the Champions League final, he was arguably the best player. And Ugarte, just because he's Uruguayan, might help Nunez kind of settle in faster and just give him that familiar face. Because I've seen him we were hanging out with Arthur Melo the other day. He definitely needs some friends in the team. So I'll probably put Ugarte in there. Those are my 3: Thuram, Mount, and Ugarte.
Yeah, I think Carlino.
And I'm going I'm going under the impression that we're keeping Curtis Jones and Elliott, by the way. So just all that, and Henderson, Fabinho are sharing minutes because I don't think they should ever be in the same midfield ever. And obviously Thiago first choice. But yeah, for like if you guys have me for Curtis Jones and Elliott, I would for Curtis Jones I would give him as much film on Kovacic as possible because I feel like he can be a Kovacic type player for us. And for Harvey Elliott, I'll give him as much film as Bernardo Silva because I feel like him and Bernardo Silva, well, if he develops the right way, he can be identical to Bernardo Silva in the future. But yeah, obviously they're not someone that we should be starting week in week out in our team. But I think if they develop in that way, then they can be like really beneficial for us. As the older players, Milner's still there and Henderson, Fabinho's still there. They died out.
Good stuff. The chat are loving you. They're saying
Yeah,
you're a
Carlino.
great caller. So what to do is get onto
Where are you
Twitter.
from, Carlino?
Well, I'm from the United States, but I was born in Cameroon. The reason why I go by Carlinho is because I play soccer right now. I play in a semi-pro team right now, and obviously back in the day we used to add Eno to our names. Carlinho, Tominho. So that's why I remember I joined the Twitter space once, and people thought I was French because I had the French flag on me. So people were confused about my nationality with Brazilian and French. But yeah, I was born in Cameroon. But I live in the United States right now. I live in Boston. So yeah.
Oh, he's one of bleeding John
One of our
Henry's
own.
mates. He's on here spreading the gospel of John Henry. No, listen, come here, Carlino. We have to let you go because more callers coming in. But hit Keith up on Twitter because you should be on this show more, to be honest. Talk to you in a bit. Cheers, man.
Make it easy,
See you
Carlino.
guys.
Speak to you,
Good
Carlino.
night.
Thanks for calling. Take care.
Now, who have we got next? Kieran.
You're like played Julian Wardjar there, scouting people, Gav.
I'm just asking questions. Kieran,
Right,
how are you?
I'm good, mate. Yourself?
Good.
Yeah, all right,
Come on,
Kieran.
throw your question at us. And don't try to give us any more money for charity. Go.
No, it's how do we solve the homegrown problem from next season? It's really as simple as that. It's going to cost 150 million.
So, does anybody know where the homegrown situation? Because I'm going to be honest with you, I'm a Liverpool fan, right? I work all bleeding day. I don't look up homegrown stuff. But are we right on our limit with homegrown players?
So we can't even do the 8. So we got 7. We got Kelleher, Gomez,
And because we can't do the 8, what do we have to do elsewhere in the squad to
so we can only name
register 24?
24. Yeah,
Okay, so we currently sit at 7.
yeah.
You're probably looking at Ox leaving and Milner leaving, so that'd be 2 gone. So we're down to 5.
Not Phillips.
Milner's going to get another contract. I think Phillips will be the one that goes out of those 2.
So Phillips is in the 25, okay, or 24. So we're still if Milner stays and Ox and Phillips goes.
Vandenberg.
No, Vandenberg wouldn't be home.
No, he came in 1920, didn't he? He came the year after we won there.
Do you know what they're going to do? They're just going to do the cheek out. They're going to sign the bleeding
Keeper.
They're going to give some bleeding third choice keeper 25, 30 grand a week in the bench.
That's what they should have done years ago. They did it again and then moved away from it. But
So what is the feeling here if Kelleher's sold that Adrian would go and then you bring in a keeper?
I think they I think they do that. They promote one of the young
David.
lads and then bring in an experienced English keeper to sit as the third choice. That's how I'd see one way of getting around it.
And that's when it comes down to midfielders where you do look, and that's why Bellingham's linked. But of course, Bellingham doesn't take up one of those spots until the following season, I don't think. But then you have, that's why Rice is linked, Mount is linked, Dewsbury Hall has been linked. So that's why those names pop up. And I don't know if there's any truth to them, but you can see the reasoning behind people going, oh, what about Dewsbury Hall, or what about whatever, because you do need them. Otherwise, taking it on face value, you'd have to name a 23-man squad next year because you'd be down on the homegrown, and every homegrown you go down, it does you on the back end, doesn't it? So, Kieran, how would you solve it?
I think we get linked again heavily in the summer with a player we were previously linked with in Harvey Barnes. I could see that resurfacing because I could actually see him playing as that right-sided midfielder, to be honest.
Okay.
Along Bellingham, I think you can have 2 runners in there which will enable Harvey Elliott to play deeper in midfield. That's his issue. He hasn't got legs, but he hasn't got no legs around him. So technically, he's good enough. But I mean, he's lost in a Klopp system at the moment for me. But as an individual player, I've said to Keith before, one of the best technically gifted players at the club. Yeah. But how we get around it, I mean, Jude's going to be, 100 million minimum. And then you probably need another 2 players after that. So English tax.
That's the killer. Is the tax, isn't it?
Yeah, but you know what they will be doing? They will be smart, and I'm not joking. People might like hearing it, but you want to keep an eye on the teams that go down this year because they will.
But it's even that, if you look at someone, Shawnee, even that
pick the bounds off,
spent 3 years.
Davis.
But if you look at someone even that's not in the Premier League, that's not even English, they could be 3 years playing in an academy in England, gone off somewhere.
Surely Carvalho's homegrown.
Come back.
Yeah, but you don't come into over 21s till 24, 25.
You have to be over a certain age and spend so much time.
I think the Uno reverse card, if you will, in this situation is going to be some third choice goalkeeper that they're going to probably. Scott Carson might be up at City or something, and he might fancy coming back to Liverpool for
Yeah.
And if you just kept it
But the only thing is, if you let Adrian go and Kelleher wants to go, you can't but you can't just sign the keeper and go, I just get him in and that does a quota, because we've seen Alisson go down injured. You know,
but they rate your man, obviously rate your man Harvey Davies.
Yes, they rate him massively. Yeah,
and not only Davis as well. We got Peter Luger, who was at Macclesfield. So.
Yeah, they won't blade, and he won't solve the homegrown thing. And I'd say that's where, as we've alluded to, if you can sneak one in under the
Ward-Prowse is another names come up in the chat. So
Ward-Prowse.
Yeah, but then when you're talking about legs in midfield, you know, Ashley says our current 7 homegrown players are Trent Gomez, Henderson, Kelleher, Milner, Ox, and Phillips.
Right, I'd say 3 of them are gone.
Looking at that, Jesus, Kelleher, Milner, Ox, and Phillips.
And that's why Twitter's a cesspit at the moment for it, because you're linked to all these English players. They're not fashionable. Yeah. Everyone looks at it, you can pick up this player for 40 million, so he'll do a job.
You know what?
Yeah.
Don't kill me. But there's one who signed a 1-year deal at Forest last year, and I would take him. And I'm not even
Jesse Lingard.
I take Lingard. And I'm not even.
He's not serious though, isn't he?
But
he's on over 100 grand a week.
I'm telling you, he'd be a free. And
he's only 28 as well.
He's a good player.
He's still young, isn't he? Young Jesse Lingard. He's always been young. Listen, Kieran, I had to let you go because there are more callers coming in here, but thanks a million, mate. And we'll talk to you soon. Cheers, pal.
Take care.
Cheers, bye-bye.
Yeah, the homegrown stuff is a bit mad. Ward-Prowse is playing as a 10 at the moment, says Red Steve.
I'd buy him as a right back.
Would you?
Yeah. Let Trent move into his natural midfield role.
It's not a natural midfield role, though.
It is. These are the legs that we need in midfield. We don't have to worry about midfielders covering for Trent then if Trent's the midfielder.
Yeah. I'm waiting for Dylan wanted to call in. He had a non-football question, so that could go anywhere. So we'll wait for Dylan to drop in a minute. But Lingard, Jesus, like people are losing the plot shot when you said it. Give us your reason behind it though, because it has to be a footballing reason on top of just he's there and you get him and he's homegrown.
Because he's a good player.
He is a good player. But it's the bullshit that comes with him that
I don't know. Do you know what, Keith? I swear to life, I watched this podcast with your man Steve Barrett the other day, and I have a completely different perspective on Jesse Lingard. The shit he went through in his life at the time he went through, and the stuff he just turned around and said, I didn't give a fuck about football. My mum was dying, and I had to look after my 2 younger siblings. Yeah. And I was in and out of a football team where a coach didn't give a bollocks. And I was bursting my balls. And then he said he goes to West Ham and tears it up.
Yeah, really good at West Ham.
And do you know who's another one, actually? And it hasn't been mentioned. And I think he might be out of contract. Ruben Loftus-Cheek, I think, is a good player.
He got mentioned the other day, actually. I saw that. I didn't know if it was a mistake.
Was he on loan at Fulham this season?
No.
He was there before.
And people are saying Klopp wouldn't, and I get where
Ali
people
says
are.
Morgan gives why.
Well, they paid about 50 million for him, didn't they?
I know, but if they go down, we're talking about relegated players. I'm trying to think of who go down, and there's no one on Everton that you take. Absolutely no one. The only player I take on Everton is the right back Patterson. He's really good. Other than that, no thanks.
Bad show from Barry Gibb. What about Barry Gibb's wife?
Dylan's bottled it by the looks of it. He's not coming on.
Dylan wouldn't come on the other night because he had a bad
It says,
hair
lads,
day.
just keep saying connecting won't progress past that page. No, just reload the page and hit the link again. You will get in. People are getting in, Dylan. Stop making excuses.
I think Loftus-Cheek won't keep an eye on, and of course, if he doesn't move in this window, and Chelsea are having a fire sale, I wouldn't be fucked with Mount, and I'd look for Conor Gallagher.
But funny you say that, because Conor Gallagher, of course, is linked with a move away, but the likes of Ruben Loftus-Cheek might be something that Everton could do for 6 months, as a loan from Chelsea. Sorry, Craig Lowe wants to come in, so Dylan's missed the spot. Dylan's lying to us because everyone else's thing is working. Now, let me see. Craig Lowe, how are you? Can you hear us, Craig? I think Craig's in Australia. Oh, no. Radio silence from Craig. Oh, we'll have to knock Craig off. Chris, we'll try to get Chris. Hold on. Here's Chris. There's Chris. Oh, Chris! It's Chris. Hey, Chris.
How's it going, lads?
Jesus,
I thought I'd help out
the
the show, considering you're struggling for listeners again.
Well, we have Dylan making excuses here, but come on, quick, give us a question, because we've only 15 minutes
It's a very easy one, because I know you are mad about football. Everybody there except Keith, of course, following River Plate.
Yeah.
Which footballer or footballers broke your heart? They don't have to be Liverpool players.
Oh, it's a great
Fernando Torres for me. Torres left Liverpool. I was 29 at that stage, still sort of gave a shit about things like that. And you become so emotionally attached to a player that when he left, ever since then, I haven't really... I've had players that I've liked more than Torres, but for example, Mane goes and he deserves it. It's the right thing to do. Whereas when Blade and Torres went, it was like the world was falling in. Couldn't believe it, you know what I mean? And that for me was the one that really, the last one. It's the last one that ever really broke my heart. But he's the one that fucked me over. But there's been plenty before that.
Shawnee, who's broke your heart?
Yeah, I went homesick from.
Does it have to be Liverpool?
No, it can be no.
It can be anything.
No,
okay.
I went homesick from work when the yellow bar came up that Torres was signing for Chelsea. I'm not joking. I genuinely did. I was fucking heartbroken. Flip Inzaghi broke my heart in 2006 as well. The little bastard.
7.
See, couldn't even forget the year. Couldn't even remember the year.
Michael Thomas in '89 was a killer.
Ooh.
But I was very young at the time. The one that really hurt me was Cantona in the '96 Cup final, because both teams were fucking utter shite, and I'd have taken it going in off. If you had to lose, I'd have taken it going in off. I don't know, Gary Pallister was probably playing that day. We're kind of a header that hits the shoulder and goes in, and it's a bit shy. But for Cantona to hit a volley and it go through 5 Liverpool players and it go in and he's running away and he's the Messiah, that really fucking hurt me. Yeah. So I'd have to go. I'd have to go Cantona in '96. Go on, what's your one, Chris?
Oh, geez, to be a few. Funny enough, not many of them. Suarez starting to act the maggot for the last 6 months before he left. That was like a slow heartbreak, because you knew there was something to the rumours and you knew he was going. And for me, the best Liverpool player in my lifetime, just attitude, just bad boy, the whole thing, but just couldn't argue with his final season, and yet he got nothing for us, and yet you knew he was going. But Henrik Larsson, for the fact that I loved him at Celtic and then he ended up at United, didn't mind him going to Barca. He turned around the Champions League for them. Correct, Carlos Tevez, I was bizarrely lucky to see him playing for Boca. Came home and was telling everybody about this amazing player. And everybody was like, get in touch with Liverpool if you think he's so good. Then he ended up at West Ham. And I was like, geez, we're in with a chance if somebody puts in money. And then he went to United. I was just... But he still got his own back by going to City. So
Yeah. And we got Mascherano.
And then Gomez,
as well,
every
so
time I
we
watch
done
him
okay.
playing. Gomez breaks me heart weekly, G. But that's it. There would be many, but I have a Liverpool player. Torres hurt, but he'd been in and out injured. But Chewy was the real deal. Just Chewy broke my heart, like.
Chewy.
But at least he went to Barca. He didn't stay in the Premiership. That would have killed me. But I think Torres going to Chelsea was hard to swallow. All right, I remember that clearly. I remember as Shawnee said. I remember that. I think it was a time where you'd watch the transfer shows and you'd go into the last few hours, and I came across the bottom of the screen, and all I could think of was the time he turned his back to the United fans and held up his name, and I just went, he's gone. Yeah. But anyway, he got his just desserts. He was rubbish for them anyway.
Great question, Chris. Thanks a million. Right, we're going to get Dylan.
No worries, lad.
Football one. See you later, Chris. Big old man.
Have a good one. Night.
Cheers.
There, Shawnee's cousin Bertie were a good one there. Wim Keith twisted header. Do you remember that?
88. Let me get Dylan here before he tells me he can't get in. Wim Keith, yeah, of course. Dylan, can you hear us? Dylan.
Dylan's acting a maggot.
Yeah, Dylan.
He's
trying to do it on a tablet or something, Dylan. Just put it on your phone and do it. We're going to knock him off. We can't.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah,
we're in.
Right. What's the question? We don't want to see it. Don't want to see our head. No.
Relax, Bruno.
Yeah. Relax, Bruno.
Look at the head. Like a Rick Astley tribute, actually.
You know what? You do look like Rick Astley now that you say it. Yeah, now that you mention it.
Maybe next week our artwork could be Rick Astley.
Now you have it.
Now, go on. What's your non-football question?
Right. So the football is shite, as we all know.
Right.
But I'm after finishing football training, came home to a little frozen pizza.
Right.
So what is the best toppings on a pizza, both frozen and from a pizzeria?
Okay. Right. Give us yours first.
Anyone says pineapple, I'll snap.
I don't mind pineapple. I wouldn't order it, but I don't mind it on a pizza.
Right. How many toppings are we allowed?
Well, that's up to you. How much you willing to pay, you know? It's about €75 for a decent pizza.
Right, okay. I don't know where you're getting them from, you mad cunt. Right.
So, with the frozen pizzas, was it just this...
right, well, I have a shout now. Funny you say it, and I didn't put it Dylan up to this, but I was down doing my big shop today, right? And I mentioned big shops earlier, and then Dylan's asked me this, so here we go. Right, Dr. Oker pizzas.
Do you like them? They're a bit
right.
Small.
Now,
poverty.
Frozen pizzas are absolutely.
No, listen, come here. I don't eat them. I don't like the really tin-based pizzas. Me daughter loves the Dr. Oker ones, right?
Yeah.
Now, Dr. Oker pizzas in Duns, right? We used to be €3, right? €3, €3.20 or something like that. And I went down today, and they were $4.25 or 2 for €6. And I was fuming in the oil.
Chernobyl rations. They used to hand them over there. People
right, but this is what I'm saying, right? This is how bad it's gone. The prices are gone like ridiculous. Dr. Oker, $4.25 for one Dr. Oker pizza is scandalous.
You know what's good with the Dr. Oker ones?
They used to be, I think they were about $3.20 or $3.30. So just let me buy it for $3.30. Let me buy it for $3.30 or 2 for 6. I'm good with it, but don't make me pay $4.25 if I don't want 2 of them. Do you know what I mean? So I was losing the bleeding. I was losing the plot. Just Hannah says Dr. Oker tastes like shoe leather. No, they're not too bad. My daughter fucking loves them. Possibly because when they come out of the oven, they're really easy to cover. But toppings anyway. Toppings. Keith.
Mick has it there, Induja. Give me anything with Induja on it, and whether it's pasta pizza.
It's such a man that went to Spurs, is it?
Yeah, he's a French midfielder, plays our Rennes.
Induja's the business. It's like a spreadable sausage, spicy sausage, really hot Italian sausage. So it's spicy as
now I'm interested.
You didn't get that in Ringsend?
No, I had to move out of the Dublin 4 to get my hands on that, but no, it's lovely. And Induja, it's everywhere now. It's the trendy shit that's out there, whether it be on a pizza or whether it's in pasta. And there's a lovely sandwich place down beside me that do a new chicken stuffing, or turkey stuffing and indulge roll. Fantastic.
It's all
Need to get
happening
on
down
it.
there. Is
But
that down where you
indulge.
live now?
Yeah, it's down there.
Yeah,
No, it's not. Juniors is lovely. It's a place called Boca that's behind the convention
Oh,
centre.
no,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you see, the thing is, like, you know, like they're trying to be something they're not down that way. I'm being honest with you.
Oh yeah, well,
gentrified now.
You know.
it is.
But anyway,
yeah.
come on, give us your toppings and don't go for 75 quid pizza. I don't know what the fuck Dylan's at. But go on, give us your pizza. Come on, you're walking
Me?
in. Yeah, they give you a base. What do you put? You're putting on
All
tomato
right, yeah.
sauce on it.
Yes, tomato
Cheese.
sauce, cheese, indulge, pepperoni and onions. That's it.
Okay. Aidan says if I was stuck on a desert island with a Dr. Oak pizza and Gav, I'd eat Gav and dog to the pizza. And Francis, Gav, you're one of those that goes to the field tester 6 times. Is that in Duns as well? They don't have them anymore. And I think I have an issue with something around that, but I can't remember what it is. Shawnee, what's your happens?
I'd get Bellingham, Mount, and your man. No. Roasted pepperoni.
Oh,
doing it.
Roasted pepperoni, and what?
Roasted pepperoni, and a bit of mozzarella.
Okay. Right, I love the meat feast ones. I love having meat on it. Pineapple can fuck
You're
it
not
off.
supposed to put chicken on pizza, by the way,
Why?
It's weird.
because Italians don't eat chicken on pizza.
Yeah, but I'm not Italian. And pizza
Well,
over here
pizza's
isn't real
Italian.
anyway. It's only made uppy stuff.
Especially not
so-
that bleeding combo Dr. Oka bleeding.
Well, that's what my daughter likes.
Potato on your Dr. Oatker
That's
and
what I
you're
like.
giving
Well,
out
I'll tell you what. The other
chicken
thing is the Chicago town ones are decent, right? But
with the stuffed crust.
yeah, but the problem with there is that they just love breaking up when you try lift them out of the oven.
Yeah.
There's an issue there with them.
All
Anyway,
I tell you,
for me, Dylan,
people want FSG, I want MSG out of my pizza.
MSG out,
So,
MSG out.
the hashtag for tonight is MSG out. All right, bad
Will we
for
do
you.
a space? Will we do a spaces tomorrow called MSG out?
Curry, get out me curry, man.
So Dylan, for me, all of the meats. So chorizo, anything at all. Just throw it all on, all the meats, and jalapenos, please. And that'd be me, to be honest with you. Dylan, what's yours? Quick before we go.
Oh, chicken, bacon, pepperoni. I know it's a sin in Italy to have chicken apparently, but I'll just keep it simple, you know. And every side that you can get, you know, onion rings, garlic bread, chicken goujons, and you can get your hands on.
Do you know what? Do you know what I bought in the shops the other day? The Eddie Rocket's secret sauce.
Yeah.
And it's fucking life changing, honestly.
Not really.
Like my daughter
Really
pretends to even like
anyway.
me now because I bought it. You know, so check that out. Archie reckons I'm bang on with the meat feast. Emma says Goodfellas pizza, stick to the pizza tray, fucking shy. The other ones are worse. Chicken, bacon, mushroom, peppers, pineapples, and onions from James. Only way to cook a pizza at home is if you have one. Is in the Ninja 7-in-1 cooker. Oh, just the oven is cool. Don't on me on a
People
pizza.
packing our cars and all of them ninja things.
Yeah.
Just plugging it out and sticking their pet in it while they go on holiday and just leave it there and be grand. It's insulated. Aidan reckons, I think he means black pudding, and I don't know if I'm willing to go that far. Don't know. What's your take on doner meat on a pizza? Yes, no?
I'd give her a go, like.
Of course you would. Of course you would. Although I was out eating with you last week and you can be quite fussy. I've noticed
Me?
that about you. Yeah.
Can I?
Yeah. You can't
I think I
remember
was
it
fussy
yourself,
about
but I can remember it. Shawnee, doner meat
What?
on a pizza.
Nah, get out of the guard, will you?
Or Dylan, before we go, doner meat
Oh
on a
yeah,
pizza. Yeah.
yeah, the whole lot.
Okay. You say Rick Astley, but what's your man that wears the fucking thing over his eyes? What's
He's
it?
like playing Edward Snowden there, hiding in a hideout there.
Doing a blade Martin Cattle as well.
I don't know why I'm so zoomed in.
Because you have to move your head away from the camera to get further
but-
away.
The camera in the bottom left corner here that I'm on, it shows me full face, and I'm so zoomed in.
Hold on, I'm not going into pan you out. Fuck off, annoy me.
What's
Right.
Is that better?
Right, go on, Dylan. I'll talk to you
Take
later.
it easy, lads.
Bye,
Take it
bye.
easy, Dylan.
That was a good question. I nearly finished. Half Mexican chicken, half pepperoni, says Sukhvinder Singh. Thoughts on eating a pizza with a knife and fork?
Not mad at it.
No. I really want to talk about putting spice burgers on an omelette, but I think it's too late now. I'm being honest with you. Keith legged it as well. Let me see. Jake says Gav's describing Superman there. No, was he a superhero? And he just had the black thing around him. Yeah, man, for Fulham used to take the thing out of his sock and do it. Do you remember? Zorro. That's what he reminded me of. It was Zorro that he reminded me of when he was there, just because I could see his eyes. Is that it? Are we done?
No, why not? Any more callers? I'm enjoying this.
Right, I'll tell you what. You have 2 minutes if you want to call in. One more caller. Callers were good tonight.
Yeah, they're always good.
Yeah.
Callers were good tonight.
It's good. Bit of crack. Gives you.
That's all you want, isn't it? Have a bit of crack,
about.
talk some football, and slag Dylan off for pizzas. Knife and fork or a pizza? No.
I'm just gonna say, I think Carlinho and what's the other fella rang in last week? Chris.
Yeah.
Should be on the show, I think.
Well, we can get them on shows.
I think they're deadly.
That's no problem.
I'm like Fabinho on the bench here watching Bajetic run them up, just knowing that I'm going to be replaced in a matter of months.
Right. Okay, we're at the hour. Time to leg it. That's been really good. We've spoken about loads there. I can't even remember what it is, but we've spoken about loads. So we had who had we got today? Carlinho, we had Kieran, we had Chris, and we had Dylan called in today. So see how easy it is? You don't have to put your camera on, or you can put your camera on and like put your head right up against the screen like Dylan did. It reminds me of our man Shawnee that plays Call of Duty with his head.
Dylan O'Rourke soundtrack. Dylan, type P in the chat to let us know you're safe and you're not captain.
Chained to a radiator somewhere.
This is like people telling Britney Spears to clap her hand voice to the left hand side of her head because that she's being controlled.
Get a wellness check done on Dylan.
Let us know you're all right, Dylan. Blink twice into the camera next.
Someone ring 112. Oh, fuck's sake. Right. Anyway. So we'll... look, it's easy. It's easy when you just ring in. There's no one there. There's nobody there.
Thoughts on Everton. Brian O'Halloran is a question. Thoughts on Everton?
Oh, Everton. Really good show tonight with Dave Downey talking about them.
Dave's deadly, yeah.
There's a lot being made around Gordon and Onana. I don't know. It could be a case of trying to sell. I don't see Onana going. I could see them selling Gordon, and the talk is that he got a slap.
What's his name?
Anthony Gordon.
No, the other fella. What's his name?
Onana, the midfielder.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm with you now. Oh, hold on. Craig Lowe is back from Australia. Hold on. You got me lovely there, you prick. Hold on now. We try to get Craig in from Australia. Craig,
I thought you'd be upside down.
Yeah.
G'day, guys. Can you hear me?
Yeah, can hear you.
Loud and clear, Craig. Loud and clear.
Oh, brilliant. I've been trying all show to get on. Just dialing in to say happy Australia Day to all the Aussies in the chat if there are any.
I love it.
There you go.
Is it Australia Day?
Every day is Australia Day.
Public holiday. The barbecues are out.
That's why I'm ringing in.
Yeah,
Dutch courage.
Cool. I like it.
There's about 12 cans on them.
They will be saying it's about 8 o'clock in the morning. So,
right, come on, give us a question, Craig, before we go.
I got no questions.
Craig, I have a question for you actually before you ask for me. Have you got Dylan O'Rourke stashed in your bedroom somewhere? Because he's the same camera as you.
I tried my laptop, I tried my iPad, but finally just bugger it, use the phone. But
so you've no question.
It's just happy Australia Day. He's just ringing in to spread the joy.
Okay, good. Okay.
Who's the best Aussie, I guess, that's played in the Premier League from you guys?
Margot Robbie by a mile.
Oh, Margot Robbie. Best Australian to play in the Premier League.
It can't be Timmy Cahill, though.
Well, Timmy Cahill was brilliant
He'd
for
be
Everton.
up there.
Viduka was class.
Harry Kewell.
Harry Kewell was
40.
outrageous before he got to Liverpool. Like,
Yeah.
fucking outrageous for Leeds.
He'd be brilliant in this Klopp side, keeping Naby warm on the bench.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. Oh,
Dylan O'Rourke with Jednak. Well, Jednak done well.
Viduka.
Yeah.
Viduka was class.
Viduka was class.
Mark Bosnich as
Viduka
well.
was
Mark
awesome.
Bosnich had a big long career, didn't he? In with Villa and that before he even got to United.
Yeah, was it Middlesbrough and then
Villa was it?
Sorry, Villa then
Villa then
Chelsea,
United, yeah.
Man United. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then Chelsea.
I'm gonna go just
Water.
with Kewell. Because honestly, he was at Leeds before he came to Liverpool. He was, and his first year at Liverpool was good as well, actually. But at Leeds, he was just unreal. Shawnee, you going for Viduka?
Viduka. I'll give you a fact on Viduka as well. Guess who Viduka's cousin is?
Margot
Someone
Robbie.
Get this. No, someone gotta get this. Luka Modric.
Luka Modric
he?
is his cousin.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
Well,
Played in every
Keith,
day's
who
a
are you
skill
having?
day here. Oh, it'd kill me, but Tim Cahill possibly is the best Aussie to play.
Yeah, but you have to dock him loads of points for punching the corner flag every time he scored.
And that he played for Everton. Yeah, that's true. But yeah, no, I loved Viduka. Viduka was brilliant. He was a lazy bastard as well. Like, as in not late, he just real laid back. They all tend to be, don't they, the Aussie players? Yeah, I'd go with Viduka just ahead of Cahill and Kewell.
Okay, good question in the end, Craig.
Best Aussie overall had to be Craig Johnson, though.
Yes, well, of course, but we had to pick him because you said Premier League.
Yep.
He
Right,
went to the Predators, so we'll give him that as well. He does have
he
that.
got robbed over that as well, in fairness to him. Right, Craig, thanks a million, mate. Enjoy the rest of Australia Day.
Yeah.
Make sure you drink all the
Alright,
cans, and we talk to you soon, mate. Cheers.
Waltz
do, mate.
in
Cheers, eh?
Matilda, waltz in Matilda.
There, Keith's going to go and listen to a load of that now.
Yeah.
Right, we're definitely out of here. All right. Like I said, great callers tonight. Happy Australia Day to everybody. Don't eat pizza with a knife and fork. And loads of other stuff on top. Rest of the week. What day is tomorrow, lads? Thursday? Thursday, yeah. We should have a viewer's voice tomorrow. We'll sort that out. Friday it'll be an FA Cup Premier League forecast, won't it? On Friday night because the FA Cup this weekend. Liverpool play Brighton on Sunday, so we won't have that on Saturday. Sunday there will be full-time Reds and there will be a fat back four. Make sure you check out bookmakers.com. Link is in the description for their website. If you like to gamble, do so and do so responsibly. If you don't, check out their stats and their comparisons and stuff like that. And also the link in the description for our charity push for breast cancer research. 12 women running the Dublin Marathon later this year. An unbelievable thing to take on. And it's just go and donate if you possibly can. I understand things were tight in January, but most of these fuckers are being paid by now. So if you can give a few quid, go and do it. If you can't, that's fine. I'm only messing with you. Copy the link, share it on your friends, family, colleagues, wherever it might be. And that's about it. Anything else before we go, Keith?
No, all good.
Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah.
Johnny, anything else before we go?
No, really, another great show. Enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Enjoyed the callers in.
And more
Crack.
encourage people now as well. You know what I mean? The more we do.
People will get more confident now, won't they?
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? There'll be definitely someone to turn up next week with a
when
green screen.
everyone's full of cans.
Yeah, loads of people with cans probably turn up next week. We should turn up with cans, actually. That's what we should do. But look, that has been the Midweek Fix call-in. Thanks a million for everyone that called in. Thanks a million for everyone in the live chat. And we talk to you soon. Over and out.
Take care.